I've been in Bitcoin close to a decade, which is crazy. I look like I'm 12. Actually, it's not that funny. It sucks. I'm 28. So I've been in Bitcoin since my late teens. I got into it. So my grandfather was the chairman of the Chicago Board of Trade. My dad founded and ran one of the bigger discount futures brokerages. So I was growing up in my living room. All these big Chicago guys were building positions 2012, 2013, 2014. I knew the CME was going to build a product on this thing long before anyone else did, but just because I was eating dinner with the guys, right? And so my first foray was Bitcoin as this asset. It was like this commodity, very similar to gold. A lot of those guys early on saw the asymmetry in the asset, and its scarcity was really important to them. Fast forward, my work on the Lightning Network was to help those guys out. There were two main problems with Bitcoin, call it a la 2017. So I hope I'm looking at the audience. I hope you guys are following. So this is like 5 years ago. The two big head of the New York Times, like Bitcoin sucks. And here's why. One was the variable amount of time it takes for a Bitcoin payment to be deemed final. It's like, it was kind of unclear. When's it going to get into the blockchain? No one really knows. That was a variable. And then the variable cost is that it was a fee market and the market was free. And so the fees could hike on you. And so it was those two variables, time and cost. And so Lightning, for those that don't know, was a protocol that was designed to fix that for Bitcoin. And ideally, if you could fix the variable amount of time and the variable amount of cost for a Bitcoin transaction to be final, then a very simpler way to phrase that is Bitcoin transactions are relatively instant and basically free, which would be a huge deal. And so the story I like to tell is I was hacking on it. I was like the fourth node on the network. There's a buddy of mine in London, and we wanted to recreate the pizza transaction, like really nerdy, right? Like just sitting in my dad's basement. And I sent him a Lightning payment to London with my address, and he ordered me a pizza. Payment got there instantly and for free. And it was in that moment, Matt, where I was like, hold on a second. I just sent value to London in less than a second. It didn't cost me anything. There was no concept of interchange. There was no concept of T plus X settlement. What did I send? Did I send a credit liability? Did I send a promise of future settlement? It also happened to be cross-border, but also a commerce payment. But the protocol we used didn't know that, and it was cash final. It blew my mind. And I was like, this is the first innovation growing up by a bunch of traders that the price didn't matter. If Bitcoin was $10, I would have just had to send more of it. If Bitcoin was $10 million, I would have just had to send less. But the innovation was in payments. And I started to look at Bitcoin in conjunction with Lightning as a global value transfer protocol. Visa is a protocol business. Swift plus correspondent banking is a value transfer protocol. Western Union is a network. It's a value transfer protocol. And I started looking at this thing like, this thing is magic. It doesn't care if you're crossing borders. It doesn't care if you're buying pizza. It's going to get value, real cash final bearer instrument, this thing. Like, it's not credit. It is a physical digital instrument that actually travels and moves in real time. And it's going to get there in less than a second and for free, no matter where you point the thing. And that's when sorry, I went way over 60 seconds. But then 2 months later, I called my friend back and I said, you're going to think I'm crazy because I know we're like these libertarian anarchists, like screw the state or whatever, but we're going to redo it. But I'm going to make the payment out of my Chase account and you're going to receive it in your Barclays account. And the innovation is we're going to be live converting dollars and British pounds into Bitcoin on Lightning and using Lightning to get the value to London.
But by the way, so this is what Strike does also.
And that's when I founded the company, is I made an instant remittance payment for pizza to London with dollars and they received it as pounds. And it didn't matter what Bitcoin's price was. And I was like Visa can't do that. Western Union can't do that. And it's not because I'm like a particular genius. Like, this thing is a big deal.
How does the Forex work? I'm just curious, in a bigger picture situation where you have, more customers, you're a grown-up business, and someone's transferring, dollars from LA to, euros in Rome. How do you know you're going to get the same Forex that you would get, over the London exchange?
So Forex is really inefficiently priced. Like, the rates come out once a morning, like I'm reading the paper or something. Think of a transaction.
But we all know them, right? I want the same Forex that I read in the paper.
And you'll get it. You'll get it. Here's how to think about it from a very high level. If you think about the payment from my Chase account received instantly into a buddy's Barclays account. There's 3 legs of that transaction. One is a BTC USD buy. There's money debited from my Chase account and converted into Bitcoin. That's dollars turned to Bitcoin. I'm buying Bitcoin, not knowingly as a consumer, but I'm trying to make a payment. And so we're converting BTC USD buy order. Okay, that's one leg. The second leg is a Lightning Network payment. There's no exchange. That's just BTC going from Chicago to London. And then the third leg is a GBP BTC sell, because I'm going from I'm going from Bitcoin to British pounds. And so that's just like, it's just like what Coinbase does. Coinbase buys and sells Bitcoin all day. So do we. It's the same thing. And when you net out those transactions, if markets are efficient, I'll tell you what, if there's a problem with that rate compared to the normal Forex rate, then some like prop firm is going to just arb that until it's not. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, it's like, well, what if the banana to my left's $1 and the banana to my right's $10? I don't know. Make $9 all day till it's not. I don't know, right? But like, I don't know, I'm not genius.
Now, one thing you mentioned, Coinbase and a lot of the other crypto-related businesses that seemingly should be okay, no matter what the price of the asset is, are having problems. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a business-specific issue with Coinbase. They overhired and they have to then turn people away. But in general, Strike should not be affected by the price. Doesn't matter to you if Bitcoin is $1 million or $10.
That's exactly right. That was the other reason I started the company. It's a payments business. Bitcoin, we just use it as a value transfer protocol to do stuff other people in the industry can't do. But we're not correlated to the price of the asset, right? Like, for example, working with really large fast food retailers, those are our customers. Working with NCR to enable the receiving of dollars over this thing. So in theory, a Cash App user, it could go dollars from Cash App to Bitcoin on Lightning straight into a large retailer like a Wendy's, for example. Like, we empower that. Wendy's doesn't care about the price of the thing. They're getting instantly credited dollars without any notion of interchange that is fixed and announced by the Fed or by a bank consortium. So they don't have a tab open of like, what's the price of Bitcoin? They don't do that, right? They don't care. It's better payments.